Hey John, how's it going?
Ethan, it's Del Boomi Day, so I'm good. How about you?
Good, very excited. So today, for those of you that don't know, the topic is not integrating your business systems costing you revenue? We actually have two very special guests. We have Stephen Hanaway, who is the Global Alliance Manager at Dell Boomi, and we're also joined by Lacey Morris, who is their Business Development Manager. We're going to be talking a little bit about Dell Boomi as a brand, integrations of business systems, and what exactly that means, and a lot more. So stay tuned.
Yeah, and I'm also looking forward to getting into, when to get into an integration, when your company should be looking at scaling into cloud technology, who and how, right? That those are all great topics that I think we'll be looking at today, and I'm super excited to be talking to both Lacey and Stephen. And
Yeah,
having said that, why don't we jump right into it?
let's do it.
Welcome to Guru's Cloud Connect, your one stop tech talk where we discover the best business tools with the experts behind them. Filmed on set in a live setting with our gurus in Montreal. Guru Solutions is North America's largest Oracle NetSuite ERP services provider. Visit their website at gurusolutions.com with your hosts Ethan Bozoglu and John Serino.
All right. Well, welcome, Lacey and Stephen. We've been looking forward to having you on this podcast for quite a while, and we're super happy you're here.
Hey guys, thanks for having us.
Can you guys just kind of walk us through, tell us a little bit about what is Dell Boomi and what do you do for other businesses?
Dell Boomi, first and foremost, we're an integration platform as a service. If you're not familiar with that term, the main thing that we do is we connect applications for customers so that they get a centralized, kind of 360-degree view of everything that's happening within their business. And those can be data applications that are in the cloud, applications that are on premise, or any combination of those. Most companies today have a hybrid IT landscape. And where our platform really grows beyond that is we also kind of have a full data management capability outside of just the integration. So if you're looking to modernize your business by creating your own APIs for applications, we have those capabilities. If you need to transform data between different formats and systems, we have those capabilities as well. And if you really want to innovate with, capabilities like, our hub or our flow, those can also give you the ability to get a 360-degree view of your business, kind of a more hub and spoke approach to how you deal with data, and also some workflow automation tools to really automate any way that you have manual processes or manual procedures. If you think about how your business operates today, if you're manually uploading spreadsheets or, doing what we used to call swivel chair or sneaker net integration, where you're constantly copying data between different applications, there's a lot of ways that we can automate those to really transform your business.
I'd love to explore a little bit of what you said there, Stephen. What exactly for viewers does it mean to integrate your business systems in different departments, and how can it be really, really impactful to your business's overall long-term success?
Yeah, I think now more than ever, companies are really looking at ways that they can deal with digital transformation, especially with COVID-19, and this year, everyone working remotely, right? This is the first time I put a blazer on since February. And we've got to figure out ways for everyone to have access to data that they need to do their job at the right time, make
Right.
decisions with critical data at the right time. And when you're able to, integrate applications together, you're not looking at old stale information that was maybe uploaded last Friday and it's next Thursday and you haven't gotten to the next upload yet. You're able to see in real time, how customers are interacting with you socially, what product lines look like, what inventory quantities look like up to the second, and really make some informed decisions on what you do with your business.
Lacey, this is a question for you, I guess. When we think about integrating systems, we think about efficiency and the benefits, of course, but there's also a financial component that goes behind that, right? How are some businesses potentially spending more money than they would if they had integrated systems?
So I think, you know, with the costs associated with integration, it really depends what the needs are of the business. Sometimes businesses will place us as a high initiative. You know, they know that they have disparate systems across their operations, and they're using these legacy on-prem systems that just aren't really working anymore, and they're not scalable. And I think that's a really big word that we use here. We're able to scale to the needs of businesses as they scale. And we do this in an affordable and predictable way. So when you're looking at our tool and we're having conversations with customers and partners, we're pretty transparent when it comes to the way that we price our solution and what you're going to get from us.
You know, I imagine for a lot of e-commerce businesses today, right? During COVID, we saw a lot of retail businesses take on an e-commerce aspect. Having your Shopify or your e-commerce separate from your ERP, separate from your marketing application, separate from your sales application, it costs you a lot of time and manual effort and revenue. Can you guys talk a little bit about that disconnect and having all those silos and having to organize it?
I mean, I've seen it personally, ordering things online, right? You go to a website, you see something that you want to buy, you place the order, and then you get an email notification maybe 2 days later that it's out of stock or not available.
Right.
You know, and think about how that can be a totally different experience if you could give that customer real-time information. If you knew that what they were about to order was out of stock, and in that experience, you could move them to another product that you had that was in stock, right? You could save a sale, you could save a return, you could save additional churn for your business if you're able, right? Not only to give your business that real-time information, but to give your customers that real-time information. I think something else that we've also seen, you know, is looking at someone like Amazon, not as a competitor to your business, but as a partner for your business. Figuring out how to work with, you know, Amazon Seller Central and their web services capabilities can really be beneficial if you can find out, right, how to get your products listed on their marketplace and how to take advantage of that advertising that's available. And I think that's another area where having, you know, kind of making sure that the platform that you're working with has predictable costs and is scalable. You know, we've got a great customer story where, you know, if one of their SKUs is chosen as the Amazon deal of the day, they go from processing somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000 transactions to doing up to 120,000 transactions in a 24-hour period, right? If you don't have the right systems in place, not only for your integrations, but for your EDI transactions, working with vendors, you can't meet that demand. And anybody that's worked with Amazon, right, if you're not getting the receipts back in time, there's some hefty penalties that can come back on you as a business. So you've got to make sure that the tools that you use are able to meet the demands of, you know, what is the 2020 landscape today.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, to your point, I can imagine a lot of businesses and retail that are putting out a product online won't just be on Amazon or Walmart. They'll try to get to every single marketplace. And at the end of the day, if you're not using integrated systems, you have to have like a massive team managing all this data across your different inventories and marketplaces. And that could end up costing a fortune for a business today.
On that topic, I want to talk a little bit about automation, because when it comes to managing all of this information, I think automation plays a big role. And it's maybe something that we don't necessarily think about right away when we talk about integrations. The big feature, the big highlight is having that bird's eye view on all of your systems and having all of the information in one place. But then, you know, we start getting into excessive amounts of data. And I can speak for myself. You know, we just recently went through our own integration of HubSpot and NetSuite at Gurus. And I can say that automation now plays a big role in helping us get information to our audience faster, reach out to the people who are asking us questions with solutions that will help them get up to speed a lot quicker. So it's certainly, automation is, as I'm learning, is playing a huge role, an important role in what we do. Can you talk to us a little bit about the benefits of achieving that automation and, some of the workflow between marketing and sales?
Retail is a great example of ways that automation can help, kind of getting a 360-degree view of your customer. If you think about, right, the typical business, how many different systems could you have an instance of a customer, right? You could have them in your CRM tool. You could have them in some type of marketing automation tool. You could also have a record of them in your point of sale system. They could be interacting with you on Instagram and Facebook, right? That's 5 different versions of that customer that you've all got to keep up with. What if they change their address? What if they like to buy through one certain way versus the other? So being able to tie all those together, gives you a centralized view of who you're interacting with and pulls in, right? I don't need to see all the information from the marketing platform if I'm in sales, but there's probably a few key pieces that could help me do my job better, and vice versa. So being able to grab those key pieces of information and actually show them to the user in the system that they live in day and day out, right, just helps everyone do their job faster. Even something as simple as, a lead to cash type of automation between Salesforce and NetSuite, right? If I'm a sales rep, if I can look at an opportunity that I've won and see the corresponding invoice number from NetSuite and know that customer has paid without having to go ask the finance department, hey, is this customer up to date? Without having to ask them, have we been invoiced? Have they been billed? Right? If I can show the rep that information within Salesforce, think about how much time that saves them on a daily basis, and then multiply that out across your entire sales organization, your entire business, multiply it globally. Everywhere you can save someone a couple minutes of hunting down information really starts to add up when you extrapolate it out across an entire enterprise.
That's certainly a great example of, like a benefit of integration between sales and finances. I myself going through the automation for marketing and sales. One example is I am no longer, the marketing team is no longer the bottleneck between a lead coming in from our sales funnel into and going to the sales team. Oftentimes, we're busy doing our own work and leads come in and we try to get to them as quickly as possible, to process them as quickly as possible. But sometimes it takes a little while before it goes from in our sales funnel to the sales team. And now we have automation set up in NetSuite where our sales reps are notified automatically when someone wants to talk to them or someone has a question or something they need help with. And also, all the notes from all of the conversations are all automated in this platform. And it enables our sales team to not just get back to them, but to get back to them with a meaningful message, something that they're looking for, something that will help them. And that for us has been an amazing pro in terms of having this integration. Lacey, can you maybe on that topic talk to us a little bit more about the pros and perhaps some of the cons of integration, if any?
Yeah, so I'll start with the cons because you always want to start maybe with the bad. But there is a cost associated with an integration tool. Some businesses aren't at the point where either they're big enough to see it as a problem that needs fixing, or a lot of times those same businesses, they'll call us after it's already become an issue in their organization. So again, with the term scalability, as these companies scale and get bigger, they start to see where their gaps are within their ecosystems. And that's when they call us. On the flip side of that, forward-thinking companies are more likely to plan ahead and have some kind of roadmap and initiatives where they could see an integration play come in, whether it's early on within their sales cycles or talking with their different teams within an organization. But going back to smaller businesses, sometimes they feel like they need to use the best of breed applications for every need that they have. And I would say that in our eyes, sometimes simplicity is key, and you don't necessarily need 7 to 10 different applications to run your business. It's sometimes just takes those 1 or 2 and an integration tool to get what's needed. And And one other con I would probably say, and going back to what I was talking about, with legacy systems, legacy platforms in general, they make it so that companies sometimes have to buy an entire suite of products. But with a cloud-based application, you're really getting what you need without an entire suite of products that you may not fit into your roadmap or initiatives that you have within the organization.
On that note, Lacey, do you have an example that you'd like to share about an interesting integration project?
One case study that comes to mind was our win that we had with Sprinklr. So for those of you who don't know, Sprinklr is a social media management platform that actually more than half of Fortune 50 uses. So think the Verizons, Microsoft, McDonald's of the world. They use this platform to connect directly with their customers. So originally, Sprinklr had chosen a pre-built integration solution from another vendor, but then they eventually decided to move over to Boomi, mainly to streamline their key business processes and kind of create a single system for their finance and sales. So I believe the integration was between NetSuite, OneWorld, ERP, Salesforce, and then their own proprietary platform. And I would say that the key takeaway with this case study and what makes it interesting is not only do we meet their integration needs, but we also proved that we were more than capable of handling their growing demands that they were experiencing within their digital ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Pretty big for us because we hear a lot of buzzwords every day thrown out when it comes to a digital transformation journey. You hear innovation, modernization, all of those words, they ultimately encompass that journey that a lot of organizations are going through today. Again, not to circle it back to COVID, but we're all remote, everything is virtual. We're trying to do new things, get creative. So this digital transformation journey that organizations have already started to go through is just going to become more relevant as the days go by. So, I'd say adaptability, scalability, and overall being able to grow as a company grows, that's what we find really important when we're looking at our use cases and engagements with our customers.
Lacey, can you talk a little bit more about the process of how a Dell Boomi partner comes in during the project?
Yes, I'd love to. So I work with a ton of our regional partners that we have today that are known as SIs. So Gurus is an SI, a system integrator. So how I work with partners is we really look towards our partner ecosystem as an extension of us. So when you're at Gurus, you guys have been around for a while. You have a large team who is certified in the platform. So like Steven said, gone through different certifications and training courses. You have that experience working with existing customers and their implementation and integration needs. So the way we work with partners is we want to make sure they are the best of breed.
When you work with someone, like Gurus, right? I've seen it from my own experience. I've been with Boomi for 10 years and I was an AE and worked on a lot of projects with Gurus before moving over to our channel and alliance side. But when you're implementing an ERP, it's different than other applications, right? When you put in Salesforce, it's mostly your sales team that's going to use it. If it doesn't really talk to everything immediately, maybe it's not the end of the world. But you can't implement an ERP and have it not talk to the rest of your business, right? It's normally the heartbeat of kind of everything else that's going on within your enterprise. So partnering with someone who not only understands how to implement that ERP successfully, but can then also take the next step that everyone forgets about, which is the integration. If you have one partner that can do both of those for you, right? Imagine how much better your integration projects are going to flow if you're working with the same partner that implemented the ERP for you, right? The same partner that's been there with you for months, that understands your business needs, your data. They helped you set up your new ERP, and now they're going to help you connect that to the other applications that are critical to your business, right? I think that's a very important benefit that customers can get from working with partners.
Can you maybe give some advice as to when would be the right time? Like, what are some of the telltale signs that you might be ready for an integration?
Basically, when you see your data not talking to each other and you're experiencing issues there, I mean, integration is our bread and butter. And when we say we connect systems together and transform that data in the middle, we do it all day long. So if there's a customer, especially within a smaller organization, and they have other initiatives that are a priority over an integration tool such as Boomi, I would say to them to kind of look at their long-term goals as a company and where they could see it being a larger issue down the line, because getting ahead of that and attacking that earlier on is usually a best case scenario.
And I think you gotta think about your competitors too, right? Every improvement that technology is offering you, it's offering it to all your competitors as well. So if you're not taking advantage of it, think about how quickly other competitors can come in and start to affect your market share when they don't have the same management requirements that you do. I used to have these conversations with customers 10 years ago about putting their critical applications in a data center, right? Everyone used to be afraid of moving things to the cloud. The cloud was this big scary thing that nobody wanted to go to. Everybody wanted their own server room and their own data center and their own hardware to manage and maintain. Right? And I'd ask them, do you keep all your money in a duffel bag under your desk? No, like you put it in a bank because it's a secured facility that's used to taking care of something like that. And people started to look at infrastructure as, something that they could offload to another company that's more suited to take care of it at scale at a better price. And now we've seen the shift, probably around 2008, 2007 to cloud applications as a way to offload the management of having those applications on premise and putting them off in the cloud and the different advantages you can get from that.
Yeah, and I like what you said also about the you have to look at your competitors, and sometimes those competitors are not obvious. An example would be, how distributors and manufacturers are trying to quickly adapt to the changes in retail and e-commerce over the last few months. And, we've seen companies that were traditionally manufacturers are now trying to go directly to the end user, just because, COVID and all of the changes that have come with that. And we've seen sometimes even large companies that have a very strong brand and are, it have been in their processes for so long without necessarily all of these new competitors popping up, to kind of push them towards integration and push them towards cloud technology. And we're seeing that now because all of these smaller companies come together as one large competitor when it wasn't necessarily possible in the past.
I mean, something we're seeing a lot right now is curbside to go, right? If your business doesn't have a plan for a curbside non-contact experience with your customers, you need one, and you need one sooner rather than later. Because even after COVID-19, goes away and people start, going out into the business world more and interacting face to face, there's still going to be that subset of customers that don't feel comfortable going outside or going into shops, and curbside to go is not going away.
I totally agree. The last time we had a global economic crisis, we got so many different technological innovations out of it. I mean, Uber was born out of it. Airbnb was born out of it. Whenever you have this massive global phenomenon, it's always a massive leap in terms of, what technology is going to be born out of this. The consumer market shifts entirely, and they want things faster than before. They want things easier than before. And I think when we talk integration, we're talking communication. And in 2020, when people are more disconnected than ever, you need that. You need to take that leap forward in terms of, what technology can we use to improve our communication, whether it's internally, we're talking about virtual workforce, or externally with our customer base. How can we understand them better and deliver them a better service, knowing that the world is becoming more and more competitive in terms of that?
Well, Lacey and Stephen, this has been a really interesting conversation for me. I'm sure for our audience as well. I want to thank you once again for taking the time to speak with us. And for those listening, if you want to reach out to Lacey and Stephen for more information and learn more about Delboomi, please take a look at the links below. We'll add those at the bottom of our video. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Lacey. Thank you, Stephen. And to your viewers. See you
Thanks,
soon.
everyone.
Great. Thanks, everyone.